In this day and age, the warnings get kicked out to everybody's cell phones, but it's always great to have that as a backup. But breaking the action soon until late tonight here in Prince George's County. I think so. We'll get more into that here in just a minute, though we do have to watch these storms down towards Culpeper. Again, I'll just go through these warnings. This one until 10:45 is, and I believe we're on the YouTube channel now. So hello, YouTube. I'll have to see if I can pull that up and see if I can take comments from the YouTube channel as well. But here's what we're covering for folks on YouTube that we just popped up. Welcome to the Fox 5 DC YouTube channel. I'm Mike Thomas. I'm the evening meteorologist here. Caitlin Roth and I do the weather together. And really what we're doing tonight is just tracking what's the most active thunderstormy night of the week this week, which is what we're dealing with right now. Most of the severe weather has been dropped. No severe thunderstorm warnings out there in the immediate vicinity right now around DC, but we do still have a few other ones that we're tracking. And again, we just got these two issued. So I'll zoom in. This is northern portions, kind of Fairland. I know Route 29 runs right up here through Howard County. So Columbia down the Fairland over the Laurel, Jessup areas in northern Anne Arundel, like extreme northwest Anne Arundel County, extreme eastern Howard County, and then northern portions. And once again, I'm going to use the word extreme northern portions of Prince George's and kind of northeastern Montgomery County there, all under these flash flood warnings. If you have areas that easily flood, most locals kind of know, hey, this stream floods when we get some very heavy rain. I know we got Patasco Creek up near me. I live not too far from, I kind of live in this area right here where it's absolutely pouring at the moment. And there's a river right down the street from me that always floods when we get this kind of rain. Thankfully, it's pretty low and not a lot of people live near it. But these are the areas, or these are the times where those areas are certainly going to flood on you, so you'll have to watch out. Look at you getting fancy. Facebook and YouTube. Hey, what's next? Twitter. Funny. You're a funny guy, David. So that's one thing we're watching. I am going to go ahead and pop over the YouTube channel just in case we're getting questions there. I want to make sure, because for those on the YouTube channel, I stream this live on Facebook. I try to go live anytime that something is happening in the area, or I have a free moment to talk about the weather. So I'm trying to track what is going on, and of course we have the ads on. But this way, if I get hello, so I see one comment there. Hi there, Jay Dahlia. Hi. Nice to meet you over on the YouTube channel. So I'll keep flipping back and forth between the two. And yeah, David, you're going to get a like smiley face from me, because that was pretty funny. Getting some rain now, says Michelle. Back here, it looks like I've lost my radar data. I hope oh, that's because I clicked it off. There we go. So we'll go back to, did I lose my pro data? I hope I didn't lose my pro data. Because that would mean my LWX is having some problems. I hope they're not. Let's go back, kick it back on, see if it just needed a refresh. We'll go from level 2 to level 3. But I might have just lost. Oh, there we go. Okay, so there's my live radar data for you here. It just took a minute to kick back in. I don't know what that was. But there's your flash flood warning again there. That one goes until 10:45. That one until 9:45. Really what they're going to do is wait about a half hour or an hour after it stops raining. And then they usually do drop these once it subsides. Another area of big concern, even though it's no longer warned for any severe weather, this area in the eastern portions of Charles County, northern St. Mary's, and now getting into, we had Michelle earlier say she was hearing the thunder. There's Michelle right now, saying she was hearing the thunder there in Prince Frederick. Well, the worst is yet to come for you. And what concerns me about that storm is if I loop the last hour here on radar. In fact, I'm going to go farther than just an hour. Let's go 2 hours here, because you'll see what happened with this particular cell, because you had it was actually, see how these two storms right here combine, like they combine to form one gigantic storm. And a lot of time when you have that happen, you get these just extreme downpours of rain. So don't be shocked if you don't see any sort of flash flood warning go up somewhere in this vicinity as the storm comes across, because it's a slow mover and it's dropping a lot of rain there across southern Maryland. Again, those are the two areas that we're most concerned with right now: southern Maryland and then central Maryland as well. DC, the worst of it's just has basically passed. I'm not going to sound the all clear in Fairfax County. And again, this is the camera not too far from you guys at National Harbor. that is showing you what it looks like outside right now, which is actually very nice. I mean, the sun's starting to come back out from behind the clouds, and things are looking good. And that camera shot's coming from like right down in this area here. So they've gotten past the initial wave, but if you look farther to the south in Prince William County, you see a couple more cells starting to pop up. There's one in Central Falk here that just went through Warrenton, and then down there, Orange, heading up towards the Culpeper area, you got some more cells. So this is the kind of evening that we're dealing with. Go even farther than that, down towards Richmond. There's even more activity down that way. And that's the kind of stuff that's expected to slowly kind of work its way up into our vicinity later tonight. So there could be a few more rounds. But as far as what the most impactful round will be, that's supposed to be the one that we're going through right now. So again, the good news is, if anything, that this storm system pushed rather quickly through downtown Washington, and it's not really affecting us too much there along the Beltway. And that's what David, how many more waves do you think will enter the DC Metro? I think 2 more. So I think we're going to get another wave. I think this stuff down here is going to get to us sometime between 11 and 1 in the morning. And then there's another round that's out here that's causing all the severe weather. And in fact, if I go off radial data, I go over to your big velocity. This is a cold front that's going to swing through much later. I'm talking like 3, 4 in the morning. And that will probably bring one more round of showers to us. But that shouldn't be severe. That shouldn't be overly heavy either. It will just kind of be the leftovers of the severe weather event that's ongoing in Ohio. I almost said Chicago, Columbus area. That stuff is going to cross the mountains and get to us probably again about 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. So Fox 5 Morning News Tomorrow with Claire at 4 a.m. might start off with a little bit of severe weather, a little bit of shower activity, but then we'll start clearing things out as we head through the second half of the afternoon. Anything else coming later, Stafford County? I think you guys have a little bit of stuff going on down there right now. Let me go back to my pro radar here, because I don't like to mix things up when I'm doing. Whenever I look at the local stuff, I like to keep it to the Doppler radars here that we have. So Stafford County, so we'll have to watch you guys kind of here and see what these storms do if they end up going in your general direction. Again, I'm going to leave the loop on. I'm going to get an hour loop. Hour works for me. So Culpeper, if that storm stays on its current track, and I know I'm going in and out as I get towards your county here. Let's see, there's Fredericksburg, so Farming's there, Quantico. So yeah, I do think that you guys will probably get some more pop-ups. Is it going to end up right over your house? Let's see. Sorry, I'm getting texts from people that are asking me about flash flood warnings. So give me 10 seconds here, and I will finish answering questions. We do this live here, so. But yeah, Stafford County, well, yeah. I mean, you see this stuff down to the south of you is generally trending in your direction. I think it will weaken as it gets a little bit closer to you, but we'll watch it very closely. But I think at this point, in terms of severe weather, I think we're past the worst of the severe stuff. I think really what we have to watch for is just heavy rain and flooding. And it looks like they just dropped this flash flood warning for northwest Anne Arundel. Although it's funny that they did that, because now that they've dropped it, there's another cell that's filling right on back in with more rain. So will they reissue it? We'll see. But if I stop and go to the latest frame, you see they've dropped the warning for northwest Anne Arundel, but it remains in effect for eastern Howard there and northern portions of Anne Arundel County. Let's see, big picture here. So let's see. Oh, we can text you too. No, not yet. That only comes for the bosses. Westminster, Maryland. Westminster, you guys are up here to the north. I got friends that live up in Westminster. You guys, this is all getting in your direction or heading in. Hello, Greg. Wonderful to see you. This is all generally trending in your direction up there. Amy, it shouldn't be as bad as what they're getting to the south. Same kind of deal. We'll have to watch and see what this glob across Montgomery County and Howard County does as it gets northward. But you can see there it's getting into, or it will be up near Westminster here, probably within the next 30 to 45 minutes, I'd say. Don't be shocked if you start seeing some sprinkles, though, within the next 15. And then my lovely girlfriend is telling me that the animals are going crazy. because there's a lot of lightning. So apparently my dogs are freaking out in Howard County because there's a lot of lightning going on up in Howard County at the moment. Let's see here. All right. Back to it. So again, I agree that I think the worst, and the reason she's messaging me, telling me that the animals are freaking out, is because of how heavy this thunderstorm is. It's definitely a lot, and I should have lightning on here. Let's see if I can find where my lightning tracker is. And this is a new tool for us. So bear with me for just a moment. Let's pause it at the most recent frame here. And let me find my lightning tracker, because I know that's in here somewhere. Basic circuit. There's my lightning. So let's turn lightning on, and there you go. So, and again, I mentioned before that my house is right in this general area, and you can see all the lightning strikes around the area there. So that's definitely getting the worst of the lightning. And look at this. Woo! There's a lot of lightning out of that one down in Charles County, and that's heading from Charles towards Calvert and northern St. Mary's. Not Sid. How many bosses do I have out of curiosity? I have different levels of bosses here. I have one main boss, two kind of side head bosses, and then a number of bosses under them before you get down to little old me. Let's see. I'm taking a bath right now, and I want to know how much time I have in the tub. Can't hear. Here you can't bathe. You shouldn't bathe in a thunderstorm because it could shock you if lightning hits the house. I don't see any lightning in your immediate vicinity, so you should still have a while. I would say at least in a half hour to an hour to enjoy your bath before any lightning should hit. Is it over for Woodbridge? I wouldn't say it's over for Woodbridge because you do have more just down to the south of you. Again, we'll watch all this stuff. You could have a break in Woodbridge for a little while, but it wouldn't shock me if a little later on tonight we get another round. But I do think you have, a nice little break time here, as does most of Virginia. Manassas, you got another one just off to the south here. Centerville's good. Haymarket's got another one that just popped up to their south that should be trending north here as we loop it through. You can see that's going to quickly pass over 66 here shortly. Let's see. I'll double check my areas just to make sure I give you an accurate location. Woodbridge is there. And Woodbridge, with you all, it's the same thing that they were asking me about Stafford. These storms aren't far from Fredericksburg. This one's coming up probably within the next half hour, maybe half hour to 45 minutes, that storm will be in Fredericksburg. And if it continues up 95 there, it'll get up towards Quantico in the Stafford area. Again, I don't know how far I have to zoom in for Stafford to pop up here, but there's Triangles, there's Dumfries, and then Woodbridge should be just a little bit more above that. There's Woodbridge right there. And you guys are getting a little light rain as we speak, as you got another little cell that popped up. But after this little batch goes through, you guys should have a break for maybe an hour before these ones down to the south start creeping their way back in. So Northern Neck, and I have not watered my plants yet. Well, have you needed to? I know this batch came across the Northern Neck. Well, it depends on where in the Northern Neck are you there, Deborah. Because if you're in the far eastern Northern Neck, yeah, I know you all haven't had much rain yet. But this area, the Montrose area, had a storm that came across earlier. But this blob, part of this blob, should generally be working its way towards the western portions of the Northern Neck. What about Deal? Deal. And that's from Nick. I get Deal, Maryland. You guys are like right on the border there. So in Deal, which there you were right there. Haha, found you. So there, you're certainly getting rain now. The heaviest of it and the worst of this should kind of get pushed off to your south, but you're going to get clipped by this storm system as it goes on by. The worst will stay to your south in Deal, but you're going to get rain here for probably the better part of the next hour there. Checking for latest warnings, again, as I back things out here, I'm shocked that one doesn't have some sort of either flood warning or severe thunderstorm warning on it. There's a lot of lightning, just probably not a lot of wind coming out of that one. And let's see if we go ahead. And I'm going to switch over this radar. We'll look at velocity real quick. Even though, yeah, so we go in, and if I turn off lightning here for a moment, So there's winds coming out of there. Um, and again, so what radar velocity is, for those that don't know, is it's telling us where winds are moving towards or either towards or away from the radar. So this, how it says outgoing, this means winds are moving away from the radar. Radar sight's up here, so winds are kind of moving in a more westerly direction or southeasterly direction here. Incoming means winds are going towards the radar. So this entire system here is rotating. Now, that scares people because whenever we go, well, the storm is rotating, they automatically think, well, that means tornado. No, because there's no focus to this rotation. Instead, the entire storm itself is rotating, and that is very common with strong to severe thunderstorms. They tend to rotate. It's what we call a mesocyclone. It's a big rotating thunderstorm column, essentially, is what it looks like in the atmosphere. Nothing tight enough for tornadic development, not that I'm seeing there. What I was really just getting an idea is it looks like that out of that storm, you're getting wind gusts around 30 to 35, I would say, miles per hour. So below severe criteria. Not detecting any hail core, at least not right now, but something just to watch for here. Out of that big system that's down in Charles County. But definitely seeing some, you might start seeing hail up here. And I don't know who lives here. But it's not going to pop up in the city too. But just off to the west of Hughesville, there's maybe some small hail coming down in some of those locations where you see the blue there. Flash flood warning for southeastern Howard County, central Maryland, east central Montgomery. Yep. That's this one. That's this one right here. This is the one that's out until, and actually that's not even the one. Gotta go out. Bing, latest frame, right there. That's the one. That is the one that's doing the flash flood warning. So if your phone just went off in Montgomery County, Howard County, this is why. It's this storm system right there. Are the storms heading towards Woodbridge-Dale City? They won't be severe. I don't expect these to be severe, no. Again, once you have these initial storms go by, you still have plenty of moisture to work with in the atmosphere, but you don't have as much instability because you've cooled the atmosphere. So it's more difficult for storms to lift up that air to the heights required for tall thunderstorms. Again, is it impossible? No, but it's a lot harder for the storms to tap into that energy after you have an initial round of storms that go through without sunshine. Now, if the sun's coming out and you're starting to heat up again and things are destabilizing, little different story. And again, I'm watching this camera. This is the National Harbor camera, and you see the sun poking through just a little bit there. In fact, I got to update that camera because it looks like it is frozen to me because the water's not moving. But the sun was definitely peeking through just a little bit, but it's also setting. It's 8:07. Sun goes down about 8:30 this time of year. So with the setting of the sun comes the cooler temperatures. I think our biggest concern, and the reason that they have a flash flood watch out or a flood watch out, is because the biggest concern is kind of heavy rain within these storms from this point forward. And there are no severe thunderstorm warnings out locally. You got to hit the west, out towards the Ohio, Pennsylvania, West Virginia border out there before you start hitting some tornado warnings in the purple there, severe thunderstorm warnings in the red. But we don't have any severe thunderstorm or tornado warnings anywhere near DC. Just the one warning now, which is this one here, flash flood warning that goes until 10:45 there. What do you think for Rehoboth tomorrow? They're going to start cloudy, and they could start with some leftover showers in the morning, but by the afternoon, should start to clear out. A little breezy at the beaches, but by the afternoon hours and early evening hours, it should turn into a nice day. And Friday looks good for you there, Nick, out at the beaches. Let's see. Other questions. Let me pop over to YouTube. Hello. Oh, wow. Adriana. Hello, Adriana. Hi. Why the storms? Well, why the storms? We got a warm front coming through, and we got a cold front that's going to get dragged through later tonight. So all these storms are, and this is from Brad. What's up, Brad? And then Kathleen saying good evening. Hi, guys. So why all these storms? Warm front came through today. You felt the humidity. You felt the moisture if you were out and about earlier this afternoon. And that's what's causing these initial batches of thunderstorms. And then a cold front's going to come through later. And while they're not on my radar because the beam doesn't go out that far, there is a line of thunderstorms out here in Columbus that will weaken as it crosses the mountains. And we go towards. Let's see. And as we go towards the evening, we'll lose daytime heating. We'll get the nighttime cooling. That should make the round that comes through overnight tonight just more showers than anything else. Let's see. Nick. Let's see. Sherry Rios. What about my way to work? Hello, sweetheart. Girlfriend alert. So Sherry has to commute from Howard County, where you are under the flash flood warnings, but you should also make sure that the dogs can use the restroom before you get off to work tonight. But you should definitely leave a little early for work because it's likely to be a rough journey as you traverse the red blob that is Howard County into the yellows and deeper greens of Anne Arundel, because that's heavy rain. And again, that's probably going to slow things down. This storm is, the problem with this storm in Howard County is it's just not moving anywhere too fast. And that's why you got the flash flood warnings up for it. Because you see, we had colliding airflows here. Essentially what we got was a storm outflow from the west, because if you look where my mouse is, and I'll put the probe on so you can see it just a little bit, but watch this storm here as I hit play. You can see you had a storm, and you'll just have to kind of watch my mouse, but this storm's moving on a more easterly track, and this initial storm was moving on a more southerly track, and you're getting these mixing of flows in the atmosphere together. They're combining these storms, and that's why it appears that these storms aren't moving too fast, where really what it is two storms combining over the same area. So hopefully that answers your question. Let's see, and Nick says, thank you, you're welcome. We'll check the YouTube and see what's going on. What is expected for Virginia? So Virginia already had the worst of it go through initially, but I'm not necessarily saying that you're done yet in Virginia, because you got a couple more cells out here that you have to watch out for. Prince William County, Haymarket just had one blow through. If that continues on its path, it's going to get at least near Chantilly, maybe ride the Loudoun County, Fairfax County border there, up towards the radar site, LWX there. That system will head up that way. And then you got this other storm, smaller, and I'm hesitant to call them storms because I'm not seeing any lightning out of them. Let me put lightning back on here just to double check there. But I'm not seeing any lightning out of these storms, at least not cloud-to-ground lightning that's being picked up by the tracker. But we do have a couple of more showers. It's not going to be a clear evening, we'll put it that way. Tonight will be the roughest evening, but the steadiest, the first batch of steady rain has gone through. And now the next areas that really need to watch down towards Orange, down towards Fredericksburg. And this is from Lee Wagner, who's asking this question over on the YouTube channel. And, you know, Fredericksburg, this one's incoming, and this is a thunderstorm. And you can even see maybe a little bit of a hail core with it, though it's pretty far out as far as the radar is concerned. So when you get this far from a radar site, you know, it's way up here, and we're looking at storms way down here. It's several thousand feet, usually probably about 3,000–4,000 feet at that point that we're getting into the storm there. So some of that hail is probably melting before it reaches the ground, which is a good thing. But this is on Frederick's doorstep. They can probably hear the thunder, and it's probably going to start raining within the next 10 minutes in Fredericksburg, downtown Fredericksburg. And that will be the second round that is generally lifting in our direction. So that's the next one we'll have to watch. This guy's hefty, still coming down very, very hard. Worst of it in the extreme eastern portions of Charles, but mostly, you know, extreme southern portions of Prince George's, that little sliver of Prince George's that extends southward there, getting hit very hard. But Chesapeake Beach, Prince Frederick, Michelle, I know we got you there watching over on the Facebook page, but that area from Prince Frederick to Chesapeake Beach is about to take a very hard hit from some very, very heavy rain as this one comes across. Any other questions on the YouTube channel, fire away. I'll go back over the Facebook here. Tracy, what will the overnight storms be like in Hyattsville, Northeast DC? I don't really think they'll be too bad, honestly. And here's an idea. So this is one of our weather models that we use, and this is, I think, the latest one. If not, I can go over to the latest one and see if we got, so 23 is coming in now. This model runs every single hour. I'll throw on cities and counties here, and we'll try and get everybody a decent timing of when things will wrap up here. But this was a model forecast at 7, it's now 8. So it's got an okay kind of grasp on the storms here. It moves that initial big blob up closer to Baltimore by the 9 o'clock hour and has a period of relative calm in the immediate D.C. Baltimore area by the time we hit 10 o'clock. Southern Maryland still has some stuff. Remember that blob down in the south here, this one down here. It's got this modeled to mostly stay, kind of affect Southern Maryland there. weakening as it does so, but it kind of brings it more over southern Maryland than D.C. And then it's kind of quiet through the midnight hour, and there's your second round of storms that's coming through 3, 4 in the morning. That model's a little bit more hefty than I've seen other models with it later. Maybe we would get some thunder out of that. Still not expecting severe weather out of it. That's 4 in the morning, by the way, that model forecast. But maybe another round of heavy rain could come through as that system swings through. Then we clear skies out the rest of the day. So by sunrise, well, sunrise is pretty early. Couple of hours after sunrise, we should start breaking up the clouds, seeing some sun. That's 7 a.m. You see it's all gone by 7 a.m. But 5 a.m. early commute hours start. Could be some showers still around. Same thing at 6 a.m. and then clearing after that. But we'll keep an eye on that one overnight. But I think by the time it gets here, it should not be all that severe. Why, hello. We have a visitor.
Are you on?
Hello, I am on.
Oh, hi.
We're on the Facebook and
Where's the
we're on the YouTube. It's that one, right? Wait, no, wait, I lied. It's that one. Oh wait, I lied. It's that one. I'm still getting used to it back here.
Hi.
Hi, Angie.
Oh my God, Michael.
What's up?
I just did an Instagram Live.
How'd that go?
Well, I just talked about how you were saying that we have an active radar.
We do.
And I said the window is probably between now and like what, 11 maybe?
No, well, so you know what? We're kind of quiet here in Washington
We
right
are?
now. Yeah, but we'll have another round overnight.
Thunderstorm warning still exists though, right?
No more thunderstorm warnings. So.
Oh. Ooh.
No. Did you lie to people on your Instagram
Well, I
Live?
was just going off your Twitter.
Well, I haven't updated my Twitter in like 2 hours.
Oh.
Because I've been here.
Pay more attention to the timestamp.
I've been talking to the good people of DC.
Tomorrow's the last day of school
For who?
for my kids and a lot of kids
is
like
that late?
Fairfax County.
Why do I feel like that's late?
I don't know. I think we start later. In
When I
Fairfax
was a
County.
kid, we were always out by Memorial Day.
Yeah, but we always start after Labor Day.
Oh, yeah, you're right, you do.
So, pool parties and things like that should be okay tomorrow.
Should be great tomorrow. No,
Okay.
great day for it tomorrow, great day on Friday, too.
Yeah, I wish I could go, but I'll be here working. So
You'll have good
I
company.
feel like I have to like go down like this.
Yeah, it's definitely like a seated
No.
area.
Well, I'm gonna go make my my dinner.
Do it.
Microwave. See you tonight at 10.
See you at 10. Not me, I'm stuck here. So we will keep tracking the radar for you. That's what it has. It mostly is bringing this out towards southern Maryland, and then this secondary stuff, which looks more broken than it is, just because the radar doesn't quite cross the mountains right. That's what we'll watch overnight. And just to show you the difference, I mean, that's definitely a little bit more hefty now on the latest model versus you see the last band that run kind of really had it weakening as it came across. But again, overnight, I really expect it to just be some heavy rain. Lots and lots of lightning. Lots and lots of lightning. I know, Michelle, I know exactly where you are. Michelle's talking about this storm coming through right now. And yeah, you can see, particularly just to your north is where the lightning core is. Just went through Eagle Harbor. If you're watching from Eagle Harbor right now, a lot of lightning up that way. And most of the strikes that you're seeing out your window there, Michelle, are off to your north. What time will the storm be in Fort Washington, Maryland? Great question. That's Fort Washington is here. Now, if you're lucky, let's see if it'll pop up for me. There's Alexandria. There's Forest Heights. I know Fort Washington. I always like. It's fun for me to try and find you guys in here. Let's see. Fort Washington, Maryland. Yeah, it's kind of right. There's Waldorf, Brandywine. So Fort Washington should be right in this little outlet here. For some reason, it just doesn't want to pop up. But you're right across from Mount Vernon. Mount Vernon's here. Fort Washington's right here. This little shower is kind of fading away. And I think you're in the clear here for probably another hour at least. And even when this stuff gets to you, because you just had this monster go by. And when this monster passes, even though it passed to your south, when storms that big, they put down a lot of cool air. So I would expect it that some of this stuff, particularly on the western flank of it, is going to weaken a bit as it comes northward. But if this storm happens to hold together on its current pacing, about to come into Fredericksburg here in a few minutes, it would probably reach Fort Washington about an hour, hour and a half. So I would say that you have an hour and a half there, Brenda, to keep an eye on it. Hello, Angie. Let's see. So no thunder for Deerwood. Mom needs So no thunder for Deerwood. Mom needs her toddler to sleep. Deerwood! So again, despite growing up here my whole life, I enjoy learning all these new towns. You're not far here in Deerwood. So you're Montgomery County, just north of what, Rockville there? Deerwood, between Rockville and Gaithersburg is where you are. So the worst of the thunder there has definitely moved off to your north. And I think that most of the overnight will be, you know, all right for you. I think you'll get a round of heavy rain at some point when those storms cross from west to east. But I don't think it shouldn't be overly loud. And before I talk more, I should probably check on the sounding data and see, you know, there's your low pressure system developing, and you're going to get another wave that arrives along that. But what I want is the SBC soundings to see if they put up any sort of special sounding for us. No, 21Z. So the new one should be coming up. We'll look at Dulles', and again, this is how we get an idea. So this was this morning. We had an inversion layer way up here. So you did have some mid-level warmth sneak in at about 725 millibars or 675 millibars. So you had a little bit of mid-level warmth. But will it still be there this evening? And this was many hours ago that they took this sounding. So we'll have to wait on updated sounding data to see if we have any what we call mid-level warmth trapped, because that means if a storm rises tall enough that it's able to get in, and this is 3,000 feet, that's 6,000 feet, 9,000 feet, or kilometers, sorry. So 3,000 kilometers, pretty decently tall thunderstorm there. It would have to get up to that point, break through that cap, and then it could tap into just a little bit more warmth. And that's what could create, like, remember a few months back, we had a really loud thunderstorm on like a 40-degree day, but it was because we had some mid-level warmth trapped, and if a storm can tap into that, it can rise even farther, and you can get your thunderstorm. Severe thunderstorm warning issued for Calvert. Did I miss it? Yeah, there you go. So we'll pause it, we'll go forward here, and there's what Michelle is talking about. So severe thunderstorm warning here. We'll go ahead and get the info on it. Severe thunderstorm warning. This goes hail up to 1 inch, and I'll tell you where the hail core is right there. Hail up to 1 inch here, and for the hail portion of the storm. Locations in the pack, Golden Beach, and then Prince Frederick. You'd be in this too, although you'd be on sort of the northern fringe. But see where the purple and the blues are right there? That's the hail core of this storm, and if it continues on its current path, it'll reach, at least the hail core, would reach the border of, I believe that's St. Mary's County. Because, yeah, you've crossed out of Charles there. So that's kind of coming St. Mary's County up into Calvert. Having a little mind fart there. But St. Mary's into Calvert County there over the next 20 minutes or so to cross the border for the hail core. And then Prince Frederick, if it held together, the worst would be around 9 o'clock for you, which would give you a 40-minute window to kind of prepare there. I'm right at the B in the B for Golden Beach. Oh, man, so you guys must have been getting hammered there, Michelle, over the last little bit. So if you're right at the B for Golden Beach, unless it was when I was farther zoomed out, and then you're like, okay, I'm somewhere in here. But yeah, okay, that hail, don't be shocked if you get some hail here shortly. And again, the areas that we'd be watching for the hail, these blues and these purples, that's where there's enough uplift for these thunderstorms to be putting down some small hail. Up to 1 inch size hail is what they're saying from the National Weather Service there. So zoom out. There's the warning info again. Wind gusts up to 60 miles per hour. We can peek over to velocity, and we'll see. And, you know, that does make me nervous. So there is some rotation on the sun. And I'm going to check this. This is where I go to my phone, because if we're about to go into tornado warning mode, but I want to check what it looks like on the low-level velocity data first, on the Terradrome. And keep my fingers crossed, because there is a little bit of a couplet there. No, okay, so it's not showing it. We have multiple radars we can use. I know it's hard to see my phone on the camera, but I'm pulling up what we call the Terradrome the radar sites, and that one's at Andrews Air Force Base. And that looks a little bad to me on on radar out of LWX, and LWX radar is way over here in Loudoun County, so you're several thousand feet up, and sometimes you can get more organized rotation in the upper levels of these storms versus the low levels. They really like to see a low level reflection, and I don't think I can pull up Terradrome on this, but I will look and see if we have any Terradromes. Here's the P's, the K's. I don't see any T's. And the T stands for airdrome. So I don't see, except for TJUA, but I'm pretty sure that's not us. We need TAFB, but I don't see AFB in it. Show sites, radar control, yeah. So what I can do, though, is we can switch on over to, and I'm going to put this up because I got to type in a password, and I can't have you guys seeing my passwords. But we're going to go ahead and remote into one of our Mac systems here. So I can show you what I mean by a Terradrome radar site. So we'll go in here, and now I'll pull you back up. The radar site I want to look at is one that's coming out of Andrews Air Force Base, which is right there. You see that landing strip there. And this is the storm of concern. So obviously a ton of lightning in it. In fact, I can do, now that I'm on this system, I can go ahead and pull up the number of lightning strikes, and I bet you there's a ton of them. So just within, this is a 15-minute window for lightning strikes that I'll give you here. And it's about 26. That's not as bad as I thought, but I feel like I missed some data there. Because it looks like a lot more than 26 to me. Let me make sure I got that whole 62. Okay, that's more reasonable, especially out of the southern portion of that warned area. So that radar is also coming out of LWX, but what I do if I really want to dive into the storm is I get rid of these sites and I click on either DCA, which is pretty close, or Camp Springs, Maryland, which is even closer. So we'll leave it on Camp Springs, which is the Andrews Air Force Base radar. And our big airports, and most airports that are larger in size have these. These are the radars that the pilots use as they're getting ready to land, because they give you a much better estimate of what the winds are doing at the surface and things like that. So these are the individual airport radars. And you see here that you do have a little bit of rotation. Red is away from the radar, green is towards the radar. So definitely a rotating cell here. But the question is, how low is that rotation? And when I switch over, because I clicked on velocity to show you the winds in this, and again, I'll just kind of show you the learning moment. So this is going about 22 miles per hour away from the storm, and that's going about 30 miles per hour towards the storm. So you have rotation within the storm. If we go down and I switch it, and now we have to do the same thing, and I'll go back to that one coming out of Camp Springs here, you can see that rotational couplet is gone. Like it's not, you don't see that same form that you saw on the other radar site. And again, I'll just kind of give you an idea. So these are two, that's the radar that's much farther away. And look just north of Chaptico there. But see how, okay, that couplet's gone. So that's good. That means even though the storm is rotating, you're not getting that low-level rotation necessary for tornado formation. But we'll keep an eye on it because it is a rotating thunderstorm. But what you're certainly getting is some gusty winds out of this. And, if I look at wind velocity, probably going to be seeing 30, 40 mile per hour winds. There's 30 for you. What's up? Oh, you texted me. Oh, I got a text. What's up? Does Caitlin need something?
No, I said I
Oh, a cold. Oh, why? Because I'm taking too long in here.
Yeah.
What time do you need it by?
Well, if you can record it right before the 9, that might be easier for you.
Right before the 9?
Yeah.
Okay.
So 8:55.
8:50. Okay, yeah. Just tell them 8:55. I can do a cold open. What? Just shower storms preview. Okay, yeah. Cool. Where would you like it recorded from? Green screen or?
Yeah, from the weather desk.
Weather desk. Okay. Copy that. All right, so that was me clearing it with the producer here for our evening show. They need me to film something prior to the evening show here, so I'll have to go in about 20 minutes. So that's that, and I wanted to show you that just to show you that, okay, thankfully we're not looking at any rotation. We'll go back to this radar now because I just find it easier to fly around on here. When I'm doing these Facebook Lives on the computer. So asking about Baltimore, and I think it could be still. This is Chris. Well, Orioles are in the rain delay, and I think they're going to be in the rain delay for at least another hour here, just because of how slow moving these storms are. even though these cells aren't severe. And I'll loop it through the last hour, and you can see this one has just barely made it past the Montgomery County, Howard County border. So I would say an hour to an hour and a half, 9:30, 10 o'clock for a resume there in Baltimore is my guess. At least an hour, Chris, is my guess there. Shauna, good to see you. Definitely upper limbs on the trees moving. So you're getting some gusty winds out of that, but thankfully non-tornadic. Even though whenever you have two storms collide, it always makes forecasters go, I gotta watch that, because essentially what you have is you have a big updraft here with one storm, and then a smaller storm with another updraft, two centers, two rotating updraft centers that collide and form one big massive updraft. And that's why you got that spike that led, see how the storm almost gets eaten. Like this little guy pops up and goes right into the big guy, and then that hail core kind of explodes. And the reason why is you get an updraft enhancement, it's able to get a little taller and tap in, and you get some hail out of it. Let's see, definitely upper limbs. So let us know if you see anything damage-wise down there in Golden Beach. But I think the main reason they probably warned that storm, at least based on the velocity values I've seen, is that it was a hail producer. I think that the hail is probably the reason that they produced that warning. So we'll take the big picture for you guys again. And let me check on the YouTube. I've been ignoring the YouTube check. Let's see, America's been, yes. Nothing much going on in terms of questions on the YouTube, so we'll keep it here on Facebook. Let's see, zoomed out of the Calvert side. Okay, gotcha. Calvert side, that was Michelle. So I'll just do another overview for you guys. And this is one of those nights that's just kind of stuff popping along the warm front. We're still, even though we did have the front go through, we're still technically unstable because we're in the what we call the warm sector of a developing storm. If I go back to this one, you can see it clear. Oh, of course I got rid of it. But let's go back to the SPC site. And we'll go here to the mesoanalysis. And this is going to show you where, so this guy right here out in Ohio, developing area low pressure. And as this cyclone develops, it's dragging up warm air ahead of it. It's bringing down cooler, drier air behind it. Thankfully, we'll get into the cooler. It's still going to be warm, but relatively speaking, compared to today, cooler and much less humid air mass. That's what, whenever we go from winter to summer, I got to practice saying less humid, not so much drier air mass, but less humid air mass, as opposed to what we had out there this afternoon. So this guy's developing and pushing off in a northeasterly direction, kind of up that way to the north and east, towards Pittsburgh, and then eventually up towards, say, New York City and the Boston area. Once it does that, it's going to drag a cold front through here overnight, and that's that second round, that one we're watching here on our modeling that might come through. And yeah, sure, I'll go some thunder, but definitely worried about the heavier rains with it as opposed to any severe weather. And just to give you a model update idea, that's 1 a.m., 2 a.m., 3 a.m. is when it has it kind of hitting D.C. 4 a.m. it gets over east of the, or not east of the bay, but over towards the bay. And then beyond that, things really start to rapidly improve for us as drier air moves in. And it's got the sun coming back by mid to late morning tomorrow, and then sunshine all tomorrow afternoon. So tomorrow afternoon should definitely look good for us. But we're not done with it tonight, is what I want to say, even though we've gotten one heavy round through here at the moment. There should be at least one more. And again, I think some of this energy is going to get up close enough to D.C. that we could start to see some storms firing up again. I think there'll be much more hit and miss, but we could, 10, 11, 12 o'clock, we could see some of these cells branch off, particularly these ones near Charlottesville right now could branch off and get a little closer to D.C. But I don't think it would be severe. I don't think it would be as widespread, and it just shouldn't be as bad. So again, at this time, what we have right now is a severe thunderstorm warning down for extreme northern portions of St. Mary's County and most of central portions of Calvert County. This warning goes, I believe, until 9 o'clock, so it expires in about just under 30 minutes from now. This guy's moving, let's see, north at 20, so that's pretty severe thunderstorms in this area typically move at about 30 to 40 miles per hour. 20 is pretty slow, so that's why we're seeing some flash flood warnings go up with this. Speaking of flash flood warnings, we still have the one that's out. Thankfully, the storm is finally on the move. But we do still have a flash flood warning out for portions of Montgomery, extreme southern Montgomery, and extreme eastern Howard County, including Columbia here. And that goes until 10:45 this evening. So 10:45 for that flash flood warning. Though I will say the worst of the rains are now getting out. You see Fairland up through, let's see, Cloverly, Burtonsville. They were getting rained on pretty hard, but those are starting to push off to the north here, and they're starting to dry out a bit. Heavy rain still up towards Columbia, but this should all continue to lift north. And then again, Baltimore, I would guess, 9:30 for a resumption, because Chris was asking about the Orioles game. I would guess about 9:30 for maybe that Orioles game getting back into play there, because they're going to get the tarp off, all that good stuff. So going to be a little bit there in Baltimore. But we'll continue to watch this guy. Again, I'll pause it at the most recent frame that we have as the radar loops here. And this is the storm we're watching. Storm ETA on it, Golden Beach still 843, the 903 for Prince Frederick proper in terms of the core of the storm and where the wind would be. I know we got eyes on the ground. We got Michelle there in near Golden Beach there, and she said winds are moving the trees, as she said, and hail core, it's gotten smaller definitely, and it's a little bit south of that white area. Again, this would be where the hail would be, and I'm trying to get any sort of town to pop up there, but I'm not getting anything there. But that would be northern portions of St. Mary's County would be where the hail is, if there's any hail at all at this hour. Let's see. So that's that. What can we expect in D.C.? It just got really dark. Well, it's starting to get dark because the sun's going down. We've got a little shower there in Burke. We got a little shower there in Alexandria. But as I loop this on through, they're disintegrating thunderstorms, or they're weakening storms. Maybe it depends on what part of D.C. Steph that you're asking me about. But a sprinkle or a shower. I think we got to wait till this stuff gets closer to start getting into anything steadier. And even there, like Fredericksburg, we warned you, and it's finally raining there. And if this continues northward up 95, it'll get to Stafford and Triangle areas, Dumfries area here within the next half hour. And then we'll watch and see if it doesn't get closer to D.C. But this round will not be as bad as the first round that came through. Just kind of some steadier rains down there. So that was Steph over on the YouTube channel asking about that. But darkening skies is probably, because see how this all extended, if you kind of connect the dots here, it's all moving along an energy wave in the atmosphere. Even though it's a weaker one, and that's why the storms aren't joined, it's moving at sort of the same pace northward. So you probably have a deck of clouds that's going across. The sun has now set, so that is adding to the darkness factor out there. So that's probably why, Steph, that things got really dark. But no storms in the immediate vicinity. All right, let's see, 8:36. So I'm going to remain on for about 10 minutes here. I did want to mention the weekend, because I mentioned that earlier and I never finished talking about it. So quick peek at the weekend for you. We got kind of a little bit of a model battle going here. We'll look at the European first, and we'll check on the radar again before I go. But I want to, for folks who are planning their weekend, we've been watching essentially just like when we watch a winter storm come together. The idea that you're going to get, here's your northern branch, you got the southern branch here. They combine, you form a storm. It'd be a good track if it was February for getting snow, but instead it still looks like a cloudy, showery day. The pieces don't quite combine. You got an upper trough in there. It starts to go negative, but it doesn't quite go as negative as it was the last few days, so the storm doesn't intensify as rapidly. So it doesn't look like a heavy soaking rain like it did 2 days ago, but Saturday's still not looking that great. Thankfully, Sunday looks better on the European side of things, but we do, as I mentioned, have a little bit of a model battle going on right now. I haven't looked at the 18Z GFS, which is the newest one since I got into work here. Pulled up the wrong tab. But if we look at the American model side of things, the American was pretty weak with the storm on Saturday. It's just kind of got some scattered showers around. Still not a nice day. But it hangs the trough enough that it brings showers through on Sunday, too. And that's because the pieces. So when the two pieces combine and form a good storm, you tend to get heavier rain confined to a shorter time window as it goes by. Since the pieces remain two separate pieces on the GFS. You kind of got this wave that goes by on Saturday. That's Saturday right there. And then the secondary piece, since it doesn't meet with the storm, comes through as its own entity on Sunday. So if the Americans right, we have shower chances on Sunday. If the Europeans right, we have a drier Sunday. So, you know, earlier in the week there was consistency that it was going to be Saturday rainy, Sunday dry. Now it's kind of panned out to, like, the models are starting to split a little bit. So we'll have to wait another day to see exactly how the weekend, but odds are leaning towards a weather Saturday and a drier Sunday. But we can't promise it. So we'll have to watch there. But I did want to mention that for the weekend, what we're watching. All right, back on the radar now. We'll live track what's going on here. And again, northern Maryland now, D.C. is pretty much being left alone. There is some straggly showers out there, some lingering showers coming through parts of Fairfax County there. Southern portion of the Beltway, little shower, small guy, nothing that's going to do any damage. Another storm just hit Fredericksburg, just went through the city 10 minutes ago. It's going to continue to push up 95 here, and that's the next round we'll watch here. And you can see like there's a decent amount of rain down there towards Richmond. That's all sort of lifting north into southern Maryland. So southern Maryland will have to watch out for, at least, this is not going to be as severe as what's going through right now. But at least southern Maryland will have to watch for some of this rain working its way up into Ural sector here within the next hour or two. Drier Sunday, crossing fingers. Me too, Sean. If it's going to rain this weekend, I'd rather just have it confined to one day and give me one good day. Particularly Sunday would be nice if we can get that storm out of the way. We'd have drier air. It would feel good on Sunday afternoon, in my opinion. All right, let's see here. Let's see what else I can queue on up and have some fun. Let's go back to get a refresh on our camera here and see what's going on. So there's National Harbor, and the wheel is spinning, and you can see the clouds in the background. Definitely getting dark, and that's what someone just mentioned over on the YouTube channel. Was it's getting dark in D.C. again? That was Steph K. So that it was dark, and that's because those cloud waves have kind of come, that cloud layer has kind of come across with those showers that are kind of spinning up right there. Those little showers that are coming across, but nothing too crazy there. Steph, things are much better than they were earlier, that's for sure. But we'll keep an eye on the stuff down towards Fredericksburg right now, and see. My guess is that this would kind of get clipped on the D.C. side of things if that happened to make it far enough to the north. Let's see. Uh-oh. Let's see. Oh, we got a tornado warning. Okay, so really quickly, guys. Hey, guys. There's a tornado warning out for Howard County. I got to hit the air with this real quick. The tornado warning for Howard County just went up, and now I have to run. So we're going to hit the TV here. Tornado warning until 9 o'clock p.m. for Howard County from a tornado overhead. All right, I will be back, and you'll see me coming up on air here shortly. I got to run. Bye, guys.